Hey, it's Mega here. I'm just making a quick vlog. I took my Sur Ron Light Bee with the BAC 2000 controller out for a ride at Medcab Motorcycle Park, and it got really muddy and stuff. So I just washed the bike. I washed all the mud off, and then I tried to start the bike up, and now it's got like a stuck throttle. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of scary. Hopefully it goes away when the bike dries, but I just wanted to get this document this sort of. So I'm going to show you. I'll show you from here what's going on. So if I fire the bike up, it's fine. It's not moving at all. But then if I give it a little throttle. Turn it back on, and it just kind of resets itself. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why it's doing that. Here's a kind of closer look. So I just washed it. I tried to not spray it too much, you know. I washed the controller, and I washed this bike before, and it's never had this problem when it didn't have the X controller. So hopefully. So right now I just turned it on and it's fine, right? And then I got the wheel in the air so it doesn't just take off on me. And then I'm going to give it some throttle. See how much. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of throttle and it gets stuck. So yeah. And there's no way to keep it from moving. Stop it from moving other than giving it rear brake or braking. If I give it more throttle, it'll go faster, and it'll slow down again. It's like the throttle is just stuck at like a certain position. It's stuck open, so that's kind of weird. It wasn't doing that before. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna shut it off now. See, it says it's doing like 40 something miles an hour right now. Okay, so anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the bike sit for a while, and then we'll see if it goes away. We'll let it dry. In the meantime, I will be doing a review on the BAC 2000 controller right after this, so I'll probably just do it right now. All right. Also, I wanted to point out that before I washed the bike was running fine. It was regenning fine, all that stuff, so I don't really know what to do other than just to let it dry. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get I got my air compressor on, and we're going to go get some compressed air and try to dry all the connectors and stuff. I don't know what happened, man. I must have shot water someplace where I probably shouldn't. So, but like I said, I washed the bike many times before, and it's never had this problem. So, and now I have the BAC 2000 controller, so hopefully if we dry everything, it'll be fine. It's supposed to be water resistant, you know, but I would hope. Okay, he's here. It's been about like 20 minutes or something. I've been like fucking blowing air trying to blow all the water off of the bike. So the good thing is I don't think it's the controller is the problem. I think it's the little box, the box where the throttle is hooked up to. So I looked at the throttle. I tried adjusting it and stuff, and then I followed the line going down to where the little throttle box is, and I think I got that wet. Is probably why this is happening. So if you follow the line from the throttle, it points to right here. So there's a little box right here. It's kind of hard to see in there, but see that? This is the throttle box right there. That's the that's kind of your throttle position sensor, sort of. That's what it is. And so I sprayed that. I shot that with some compressed air, and it helped run a little better. And like kind of like that, and it helped it a little bit, I think. That, or I shut the breaker off and I let it rest for a while. But I think it's probably the throttle position box. I think I might have broke it or something. I don't know. This is a really bad. This is a safety thing right here. So this is something you don't want to mess around with. Because the first thing I noticed when I turned it on is that, like, when I gave it throttle, it just starts moving on its own. So there's still nothing you can do about it. It'll still go faster, you know. But now it does it at a much slower speed, so that's got to be something. I could put it on eco mode and it'll be even slower. See, now it's like almost not moving anymore. But I think it's still giving a little bit of throttle, because when if I put it back in sport mode, oh no, it's fine now. Oh yeah, there we go. See, so it kind of gets stuck. So I don't know if it's a problem with the controller or the little box. Yeah, so only thing we can do is just let it keep on drying. But that's kind of bad, because honestly, like I use this when I ride this thing on the trails, I may do a water crossing or something where the bike will be like kind of partially submerged, and if it gets really wet, if this happens, then what are we gonna do? You know, crap. You'd have to keep on turning the bike on and off. You know, it kind of sucks. But anyway, that's what it's doing right now. If you turn it off and turn it back on, it stops. So, alright, that's kind of discouraging. It's kind of, I don't know. It's not supposed to do that. I don't know if there's a way you can do anything with the controller to make it stop that, but I think the best thing to do is just let the bike dry for now. But I think that's the problem. I think the problem is the throttle position sensor box. So if you guys don't know how this works, I didn't know where it was until I just traced it right now. I've never seen it before. I've seen it on the Luna website, and probably I know they probably sell spare boxes and stuff. So anyway, you have your twist throttle. It's a normal motorcycle twist throttle, so that's the cool thing about it. You don't need any fancy kind of throttle. You can use any throttle on this bike, and then it has a regular cable that runs all the way down to that box. And then basically that's your throttle position sensor. Unlike a fuel injected car, they have those. It tells you how much the throttle is open. So I think I must have sprayed it with water and got it wet. It's pretty exposed. Yeah, it is really exposed. Think about it. Maybe this cover is supposed to be further back. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's where it's supposed to be. You know. But yeah, that's the first time this has ever happened to me on this bike, so that's kind of alarming. I may have to buy a new one and see if that's the problem. But anyway, yeah. So we'll let it dry a lot more, and I'll keep on blowing some air in there, and hopefully that'll work. Hopefully it will start running better. But it did get better once I blew some water off of there. So all right, we're getting there. Okay, so the bike is like kind of back to normal now. So I can get on the throttle, and you can hear the regen. It's slowing the motor. See, so now it's returning to like off throttle. Before it was getting stuck. So yeah. So there you go. If I don't think I don't think the controller is the problem. I think it's that little box under there. So here my suggestion is, if you're gonna wash your bike, don't try not to spray this area with water so much. This area right here is where your little the throttle position sensor box is. Don't spray water there. don't directly spray water in there. I think that's probably the problem right there. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna want to buy a spare one while Unicycle still has them. You know, I think they still have them. Last I checked, you can get pretty much almost any part for this bike on their website. So sometimes they don't have them. Yeah. So remember, there's the throttle position box right here. I'll blip the throttle real quick, and you'll see it move. Yeah, so I know it's kind of dark in there, but yeah, okay, so bike is back to normal again. That's good. That kind of worried me, and it kind of worries me, and it worries me for the future because, like I said, I take this thing trail riding, you know, and I've done water crossings before where the bike's gotten really wet, and I've never had this problem before until now. So yeah, so yeah, that kind of worries me for the future because if something were to happen on the trail where that got wet, you know. I've never had that happen to me on trail, by the way, so this is the very first time that's ever happened to me on this bike, and that kind of worries me a lot. That's, what if it had, you know, what if it was stuck in a position where it was like full throttle all the time, you know, that was only like part throttle, you know. Now I knew I could put it in low power mode and it would go a little bit slower, so that might be one thing I'm gonna have to remember to do, throw it in the lower power mode. It won't go as fast, you know, but what if it had been pinned at like full throttle? It's like how you're gonna have to just like shut the bike off and push it, you know, because or else it'll just take off on you, you know. That's no good, man. I'm not happy with that at all. That's what I want to say, man. I'm not happy with it one bit. So yeah, be careful when you wash your bike. And a couple other places you probably don't want to hit too much is try not to get behind the controller. My controller is exposed, the BAC 2000 controller, so that kind of worries me a bit. The stock controller, the Sur Ron controller, it covers up this hole a lot better than the BAC throttle control, BAC controller. But yeah, just make sure you be careful with this area right here. Don't spray water directly at it, you know. Try not to spray any water around here too. This is where the belt is. You don't want to get any water, dirt, rocks, none of that stuff in here. This is the belt for the primary drive. Also, other places you probably don't want to be spraying water directly into are right here where the bearings are. I heard if it's low pressure, it's okay. If you use a pressure washer, don't spray around here because it'll force the grease out of your bearings, and then you won't have any more lubricant in your bearings. They'll go bad fast. And yeah, I mean the bike is supposed to be water resistant. The bike is supposed to be water resistant. So and I've never had a problem with it, you know, getting the bike wet. I've ridden it in rain and snow through water crossings and stuff, and I've never had this problem before. I've washed the bike multiple times and I've never had this problem until I had the BAC controller. I thought it was the BAC controller, but I think it's that controller, the throttle position box. So that's what I want to say. Hey, it's kettle there. So yeah, so just try to avoid spraying water in this area right here. I think that's might have been what I did. So all right, so that is Hades Omega's little vlog for the Sur Ron Light Bee, the stuck throttle vlog for the Sur Ron Light Bee. It seems to have fixed itself by I let that little box dry. But that's it's quite alarming. So that's something you definitely don't want to happen when you're away from home. So be careful when you wash your bike, or just try not to get that area wet. All right, Hades Omega.